I was on CNN and look, let's keep it real. I was invited to appear on CNN, Chris Cuomo's show in particular. Cenk is on vacation. I'm going to assume that they had me on because Cenk wasn't available. So let me just be self-deprecating ahead of time. But nonetheless, the conversation was about infighting within the Democratic Party, which has been an issue. Of course, Pelosi has been going after freshman Democrats pretty aggressively lately in the form of op-eds that are written by Maureen Dowd in the New York Times. And so I was invited to speak about this issue with Howard Dean, who has become quite a centrist. I mean, previously he was certainly more progressive, and now he self-identifies as a centrist Democrat. So I thought there was gonna be like, a little bit of fighting, but that actually didn't happen. He said a lot that I agreed with. Take a look.
So Anna, if you're nodding in assent, but you also want to go down the impeachment road, why are you nodding in assent?
Well, I think that it's important to hold Donald Trump accountable, but I think that it's ridiculous to shortchange ourselves and pretend as if we can't do both things. We should absolutely focus.
But they can't, Anna. They couldn't even get money for the kids on the border. What have they done?
I completely disagree. So first of all, that appropriations bill that the freshman Democrats voted against, which is what frustrated and angered House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, essentially gave Donald Trump $4.6 billion in taxpayer money with no strings attached. There were no safeguards in place to ensure that Trump actually improves the squalor that these children and these migrants are currently being detained in. But at the same time, I think that it's ridiculous to say that you can't focus on economic injustice in America, the fact that our healthcare system is broken, and also hold the president accountable. I mean, that's the whole point of having the Democrats control the House of Representatives.
You should
if they're
be able
not going to mitigate the damage
house
of the Trump administration, then what's the point?
I think you pulled him towards your position there.
You think so?
At least a little bit.
Who?
Cuomo.
Cuomo, yeah.
Yeah.
That was really the only moment where there was disagreement, which I was shocked by.
Yeah.
So the impeachment issue, it's controversial within the Democratic Party. And this whole idea that Democrats can only focus on one thing. We've put men on the moon, right? I mean, the New Deal, like we've done incredible things. I don't understand why we just allow Democrats to shortchange themselves like that. Like, oh, no. You either only focus on impeachment or you only focus on policy. I mean, we have hundreds of lawmakers. Why are we not doing both? That was the point that I was trying to make. And again, that last point, why would we want or fight for Democrats to control the House of Representatives? Why did the blue wave even matter if they're not gonna mitigate the destructive behavior of Donald Trump?
So in the area of like the sort of vein of impeachment, dealing with Trump, investigations, that sort of stuff, totally true. If they're not doing that, then what are they really accomplishing in that time? On the other half, you have the sort of delivering on policy, which is obviously going to be near impossible because the Republicans control the Senate, but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be trying. They don't just they punch their card and then come back in a year and a half. No, they still have to be trying to move the needle in terms of public opinion on these policies and those sorts of things, laying the groundwork to eventually pass them once we have a sane Senate and president. Yeah, the idea that you could only do one of those two things, I honestly don't know what Chris Cuomo, I think he was playing devil's advocate, trying to get you and Howard Dean to disagree, because I don't think he actually believes that.
I agree with you. So let's take a look at the next clip. And I just want to warn you, we are going to come back to the impeachment part of the discussion because there is an update on something that happened in the House. Take a look.
He can do our dirty work for us just by opening his mouth. If we don't have a positive message of something we're going to do better, it is not enough to be just against Trump.
But look, Kasparian, we've all seen so many elections now. At the end of the day, it's me versus you. You know what I mean? It's whoever the two people are. It becomes intensely personal and negative, and that's what happens to unfortunately work best in messaging in campaigns. How do you deal with that and win?
Well, I think the freshman Democrats actually handled this situation quite well, and I think we can learn something from it. So for instance, they had a press conference yesterday to respond to Donald Trump's racist tweets. And what they did is they used that opportunity to not just condemn Trump, but also talk about what their vision is for America. And so you have Representative Ocasio-Cortez talking about how we need free public education on a college level, also talking about the healthcare system and what she envisions as a better system moving forward. You can condemn Trump, but let's not be hyper focused on Trump is the boogeyman. Give Americans something to vote for.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Thanks.
Yeah, and Howard Dean
was not
mostly agreed.
There was literally no moment where we disagreed in this exchange, which is why I'm not really showing you much of what he had to say, because had he said something and we debated, then it would make sense to show you like the full context of what he said and what I agreed with.
No, that was a great experience. The only thing that would have been better is if we came back not to the horn, but to the Howard Dean scream. That would have been a little bit better, but you had limited time. That was a great appearance. I think you were a great avatar for our values. You were a strong communicator.
Thank you.
On the go? Don't worry, we got you covered. You can still listen to TYT at our new podcast network. Find us on Apple Podcasts, the Google Play Store, or at tyt.com/podcast.